Whether it's a custom blend or dairy pellet, smart modelling tools or advice tailored for your farm, Seals Winslow is about nutrition that delivers measurable results.
The Waikato Pasture Summit was held, a couple of days ago, was it? How did it go?
Yeah, a couple of days ago. Yeah, really good actually. Really well attended. 231 people turned up in the back blocks of Piriaka there to see an excellent farm and some excellent host farmers. Yeah,
excellent pasture as well, no doubt.
Yeah. It was. It's the theme of the Pasture Summit, isn't it? So definitely a pretty good quality pasture on that farm.
That is the theme of it, and it's always like I was actually up there myself 2 or 3 weeks ago and walking in a paddock of the farm that we're on. In fact, I think there's a video of that coming up later in the week actually when we went up there. And you say what you like about Hamilton and the Waikato, but you guys can grow very, very good grass, very good pasture.
Yeah, no, it's the hidden secret a little bit, the South Waikato. And I think with it is what we do find is there's actually quite a few young people down there because they see opportunity versus sort of central Waikato. We grow as much, if not more, grass down there. Yeah.
I'm always struck by the different temperature too from the South Island at certain times of the year. Just that extra warmth, a little bit of extra humidity, which seems to. I know you guys think it's probably a bit cold, but we certainly notice it when we head north.
Yeah, it was interesting because a few of the Dairy NZ people out of Waikato turned up down to the day there, and even they were complaining how cold it was just only an hour down the road. So
tell them to harden up.
Yeah.
Tell them to harden up. Yeah. Hey, Robbie, just thinking about the Pasture Summit, you said 240 odd. Did you say 240 odd farmers?
Yeah, 230 at the North Island event and 230 at the South Island event, which was really good numbers.
What were the themes? What were you talking about?
Oh, look, it's all centred around people turning up, and the first session of the day, which runs roughly for an hour, is just getting to know the farm and farmers. So the host farmers will put their full financials on display, explain a bit about who they are, history of where they've come from, and then the second part of the day is trying to get out of those farmers. You know, every farmer has a special nugget, what they're really good at, what they're really passionate about. And with Hugh and Anna, and you've got two parts there a little bit. Anna is certainly very passionate about the cows and the breeding and things like that, and there was a bit of banter between the two with that. And Hugh was really passionate about his pasture management and how he does that and explaining that. So the second part of the day was really, we saw them come out of their shell because they were talking about something that they knew a lot about. They were passionate about it. And then we just coupled scientists to come in and give the background of it and whatnot, yeah.
Yeah. And it's a big thing, isn't it, for the farmer to sit there with 230, 240 farmers coming in and open up the financials. That's actually a very, very big call.
It's massive, and we would be one of the few, if not the only industry in New Zealand that does that. And I think Hugh and Anna actually went down to the Southland event and, similar numbers down there, obviously, and they came back and they were a little bit, I suppose they were a little bit nervous, as we all are, being farmers, getting up on front of a stage and open your undie drawer, essentially, is how it was described on the day, and everyone can go in and have a look. Not many people do that.
No. That is a fairly blunt terminology for it, to be honest. But it's certainly, I remember many years ago, and I'd go to open days on farm and the old discussion groups, I think was the term, and I had people say to me, if you walked up to the cow shed and the tanker ticket wasn't there, you might as well leave because you can't believe anything else that's going to be said for the rest of the day. That's a fairly sort of fairly blunt kind of scenario, but this is very similar to that, right?
Oh, 100%. We get all the financials and we ensure that all the financials and data, physical and financial, all goes through dairy base. So there's no hiding anything. And there's adjustments made, all farms are a little bit the same. There has to be a wage put in for management because, you'll find a lot of these farmers that are growing and really passionate about what they do, they're paying themselves next to bugger all. So you've got to put in an adjustment for that, any runoff land and all of those sort of things. So as far as all of that goes, there's nothing to hide, and those numbers are 100% accurate.
Yeah, the theme for the day was progression, pasture, profit. Progression is, we've just spoken to Lauren McConaughey, and that is a great story of progression, you know, the Dairy Manager of the Year. But progression in the industry is something which is, we know, and we talked about a lot in the dairy sector, is one of the strengths of it, right? But you've got to have you've got to have profit with it to go through it. So were you bringing those topics together?
Yeah, we were, and that's a little bit of what Pasture Summit was there for as well, was bringing the key fundamentals that 20, 30, 40 years ago the dairy industry was based on, and bringing them into today and making sure that younger farmers understand that exact science. And what was really good on the day is the last session of the day, we always have a panel of younger farmers that are either have come up through the ranks and are either contract milking, share milking, or got to farm ownership. And so, you know, that gives other people in the crowd belief that it can be done. And the other one that Craig Young from ASB had brought up was that he'd been at the Dairy Industry Awards over the weekend, and 6 of the people or couples that were finalists for the first farm award, the $1 million that ASB give at 1%, they were all first generation farmers. So they're all farming on the key fundamentals around pasture harvest and all those sort of things. And then the really good thing there, Andy, was people ask, you know, how do you do it? And a key message from both you and Anna and the panelists at the end, the young farmers, was having mentors, getting out, listening to other farmers that are doing a really that's all coming along and learning as they go.
Yeah, and that's always a great to be able to share that learning and the information from people who have come through like that. But also, as you said, like, you're never too old to learn. You're always going to learn something about it. Just coming back to the farmers themselves that were there, obviously, we all know it's a pretty good time to be dairy farming in New Zealand. There are some challenges, though, on the horizon. I was talking to Christina Alvarado from NZX yesterday, and she said that their projection for 2026, 2027 was 9.98, and I bullied her into rounding it up to 10, you know, for a milk price for that season. But what was the feeling? What are the discussions from the farmers? You know, when they're having a chat about how their things go. What was your sense? Optimistic, concerned, what?
Well, I think optimistic, but realistic at the same time. You know, we are in a high payout environment at the moment, and my challenge to people was, look, a few years ago we were looking at profitable farms. At the moment, in the last couple of years, you know, 2, 3, 4 years arguably, actually most farms, if not all farms, have been profitable. So the challenge now is to be the most profitable farm. But yeah, I think farmers in general are realistic, but they are, yeah, what's coming next? We don't know. What we can control, we are controlling. So that's about all you can do, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't control costs, though. That's the thing, right? We don't know how much urea is going to cost. We don't know what fuel's going to cost. You know, fertilizer costs, labor costs seem to be stable, but you know, there's lots of things that they can't control. So, and weather. Any discussion about the upcoming El Nino? Because is that filtering through into the general farming population at the moment?
Look, there was no chatter that I heard there about the El Nino. I think we're all just smiles on our faces from the summer we've just had in the North Island here, holding on to that at the moment. We'll deal with this El Nino when and if it comes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's an if. I think it's definitely a when. So I think that will start to dominate some of the discussions, Robbie, heading into the spring. And we know that if it does hit the Waikato, it can be major for it. Anyway, we'll deal with that a little bit on. So going ahead, the pasture summits themselves, North Island, South Island, CountryWide CONNECT, we're always pleased to be very much part of them. We'd love to get to one. I'm going to actually make sure that I get there next year, and we'd love to do the show from the particularly the South Island and the North Island one. So scheduled for next year, or are they biennials? They're annuals, I think, aren't they?
So we do two per year. So we do 2 in the South Island and 2 in the North Island per year, autumn and spring. And we're just, at the moment, we're sort of trying to get our way around the island a little bit, around both islands, and bring people in that may not have connected with it before. So look, the plan is to get down to Manawatu and also to Northland in the next couple of years. So we haven't confirmed anything yet, but always looking for host farmers, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that would be part of the challenge. Would be to find farmers willing to open the undie draw.
Yeah, it certainly is. So you've got to find a good farmer willing to open the undie draw, like you say, and then there's a whole lot that goes into it, essentially. So, and we want to make sure that we turn up to a farm and they're really comfortable with doing that, because a lot of farmers, I wouldn't say aren't, but certainly not. You don't get farmers putting their hand up saying, I want to be up on stage and tell 200 people what I'm doing and how to do it.
No, not naturally anyway. Some will, if they're part of a, potentially a, maybe some sort of corporate structure kind of thing. But a family farm, husband and wife, whatever, not so keen on that. Hey, just quickly before we go, your own operation, how are you going? How's the season been? What's looking forward to 26, 27?
Yeah, good. Really good, actually. We've had a bit of summer this year. Look, we just keep to our key fundamentals. We don't change a hell of a lot when payout changes or season changes a little bit much. We haven't had to dry off cows as early this year, so we're all quite happy about that. And milk production's up. So
how long will you? How long do you guys stay? How long will you stay in operation for? How long will you stay milking for?
The last of the cows are getting dried off today, actually, and that's
okay.
What we've been doing this morning.
Right. Okay. Hence why we got you at this time. All right. Hey, Robbie, thanks for joining us. And it looked like a really successful day, Pasture Summit there in Putaruru. We'll talk again and appreciate your time.
Awesome. We look forward to getting you along to one, Andy.
Oh, well, just don't ask me to contribute anything sensible. I've been out of farming for 10 years and I'm just in awe of what these guys and girls are doing nowadays. So, yeah, she's been a long time since I milked a cow, I can promise you.
That's all right.
I've been told it's like riding a bike, though. All right, Robbie Ferris there, Pasture Summit Chairperson and Director.
Whatever your goals, we partner with you on farm, helping to guide you today to drive the performance you want tomorrow. For tailored advice, talk to your local Seals Winslow nutrition specialist.